November 2025 is going to be yet another exceptional month and an incredible year for new adventure games. In this video I've got 8 new adventure game releases to take you through, including 2 which I just cannot wait to play and may well be Game of the Year contenders for me. And we start this unbelievable month off right here with a remaster of 2006's Intrigue at Oakhaven. This is a heavily story-driven point-and-click adventure game with newly enhanced graphics, animations and voice acting. Set at the plantation of Oakhaven, you'll follow 2 cousins named Daphne and Dominic who've been called home by a letter from their grandmare. Both cousins will need to solve puzzles found all over the family's estate that will have them uncover a family history of loss and tragedy. Gameplay will be around 5 hours depending on how much you explore as you play, and Intrigue at Oakhaven Remastered comes to PC on the 3rd of November. This next game has been on my most anticipated list for a long time, so I can't wait to finally be able to play it. This is Foolish Mortals by Inklingwood Studios, and it just looks incredible. Heavily inspired by the likes of Broken Sword and The Curse of Monkey Island, the game is set just off the coast of Louisiana in the year 1933. It's a classic-styled point-and-click adventure game with some wonderful-looking hand-drawn art, 75 different locations to be precise, with a stacked cast of 35 professional voice actors lending their voices to bring the game to life. The game has no dead ends, game overs or moon logic, yet still has a slightly spooky vibe to experience as you play. Now, you'll play as Murphy McCallan, a young man who's fascinated by the story of a treasure supposedly hidden somewhere on the island of Devil's Rock. But Devil's Rock has a troubled past. Many years earlier, an entire wedding and its guests disappeared, and the ghosts still haunt Belmore Manor to this day. Can you find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor without becoming a ghost yourself? You'll be able to try when Foolish Mortals comes to PC on the 5th of November. We have another remaster of a well-known classic adventure game coming our way this month. It's Siberia Remastered, a clockpunk point-and-click adventure game which has had a complete modern overhaul. After more than 20 years, the original Siberia game has been enhanced in a new 3D visual style, with many of the game's puzzles having been adjusted to make them more player-friendly. Gameplay has also been tweaked to allow partial controller support too. In terms of the story, you'll play as Kate Walker, a lawyer from glamorous New York City who's sent to a tiny, remote town in the French Alps to oversee the sale of an old factory. You won't be alone though, as you're joined by companion Oscar, an automaton who will help you to investigate the actions of inventor Hans Vorarlberg, who dreamed of finding the last surviving mammoths said to exist on the mystical island of Siberia. Siberia Remastered comes to PC, PS5 and Xbox on the 6th of November. I'm extremely excited to see a noir detective-styled adventure game releasing this month. This one is called The Posthumous Investigation, and I played the demo for this game a couple of years ago and really enjoyed it. You play as a detective in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, who's hired by entrepreneur Brás Cubas. But the interesting thing about this job is Brás wants you to investigate the mystery of his own death. This is where one of the most interesting aspects of this game comes in, a time manipulation mechanic. Brás imprisons you in a time loop that you'll need to use to your advantage to piece everything together. Each new day in the loop brings you another opportunity to gather clues and interrogate suspects until you're able to work out what actually happened. This game has some really lovely black and white noir style visuals and a side-scrolling control style that also supports full controller support. The Posthumous Investigation comes to PC on the 6th of November. Time now for a mystery point-and-click adventure game called Okinawa Journal. In this one, you'll be playing as a guardian angel named Kami who has to protect and guide Haruki. Haruki has been going through a very rough patch in life, struggling with his career as a journalist where he's currently investigating the disappearance of a well-known actress. Haruki's investigations will take him into Okinawa's dark past and see him cross paths with the game's characters, some of which are human, but others are spirits. The game features multiple endings, lots of different locations to explore, and has short, easy to comprehend text and dialogue. Okinawa Journal has full controller support and is also compatible on Steam Deck if that's something that interests you. Okinawa Journal comes to PC on the 13th of November. This next game has one of the most interesting story concepts I've come across in a while. It's called The Berlin Apartment, and the idea behind it is that you follow the stories of different families who lived in an apartment in Berlin over the course of a century. Different eras, time periods and cultures all explored in the same setting but with aesthetic differences. Each era has its own episode with its own protagonists, atmosphere and even its own genre at times. So even though it's the same apartment, each episode will feel fresh and unique. The game features vibrant 3D comic book style visuals and has full controller support. The Berlin apartment comes to PC, PS5 and Xbox on the 17th of November. Let's now turn our attention back towards detective adventure games with Penelope Pendrick and the Art of Deceit by Default Cube Games. In this point-and-click adventure, you'll play as writer-turned-detective Penelope, who's investigating a string of vanishing people in a town in Connecticut called Carlisle. As you explore the town, you'll encounter 4 different suspects who seem to be linked in some way, each of which has things they're trying to hide. To raise the stakes, Penelope soon works out that the lives of the vanished individuals are at risk if she can't solve things quickly enough, so she'll need to scrutinise every aspect of the town whilst being careful of the dialogue choices she makes. That's because everything she says has consequences, so you'll need to pick carefully. The game features full voice acting and complete closed captioning, which is fantastic to see. Penelope Pendrick and the Art of Deceit comes to PC and Mac on the 19th of October. Now this next game is one that I discovered quite recently, but has since become a game that I just cannot wait to get my hands on. I gave the demo a play during Steam Next Fest and completely fell in love with it, so it'll be a day one purchase for me. This is Detective Instinct Farewell My Beloved, and it's a Nintendo DS era inspired adventure game which gives off huge Hotel Dusk and Ace Attorney vibes in the best way. It features a brilliant combination of 2D pixel art portraits for the characters and pre-rendered 3D artwork for the backgrounds, something that's hugely reminiscent of adventure games from the early to mid-noughties. The soundtrack in the demo is also hugely impressive, and I found myself humming the tracks for days after playing. Story-wise, the plot revolves around a woman going missing on a train journey, but nobody on board the train can recall ever seeing her in the first place. Nobody, that is, except for you. Detective Instinct Farewell My Beloved comes to PC and Nintendo Switch on the 26th of November. So plenty of new adventure games for us to sink our teeth into as this fantastic year starts to draw towards its conclusion. Leave me a comment below letting me know which of these you're going to play for yourself, or if there are any others coming this month that you think I should be aware of. I'm going to leave some little things on the screen that you can click now to check out my current ongoing adventure game Let's Plays that I'm doing, and I will see you very soon.